Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Gary. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are so thrilled to have everyone here. As I was sitting in the back of the room, standing in the back of the room, looking out and just seeing the number of faces and hearing the conversations and the networking, this is one of the reasons why we love doing these events. So it is really what promises this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful evening as we honor the original and thought-provoking work of the student teams that are around here. Many of you, as you walked around, you got to meet some of the student teams, but at the end of this evening's ceremony, please take a few minutes and continue to speak with the student teams. What they've come up with this year is just really amazing work. This is the 29th contest, which is a partnership of the Purdue University and the Indiana Soybean Alliance. My name is Courtney Kingery. I am honored to be the CEO of the Indiana Soybean Alliance. This event has become an annual celebration of the Indiana soybean farmers' investments into its future and ag education. The creative innovation of Purdue students, and they're looking to create new products with one of the state's most versatile crops. Tonight, we celebrate the hard work of 12 teams consisting of 34 students, 24 faculty advisors, all competing for a grand prize of $20,000. The Indiana Soybean Alliance works to enhance the viability of Indiana soybean farmers through the effective and efficient investments of the soybean checkoff funds. The state soybean checkoff works to assist soybean farmers through our strategic initiatives of market development, sustainability, value creation, and producer engagement. The Soybean New Uses Program is one of the many ways that Indiana soybean checkoff investments. It invests the farmer dollars to build for demand for soybeans in new and innovative markets and areas. The Indiana Soybean Alliance is led by an elected 24 volunteer board that represents every corner of the state of Indiana. If you are a current or past ISA director, will you please stand and be recognized? Thank you for the work you're doing on behalf of Indiana soybean farmers. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge and recognize some of our special guests. So, Dr. Karen Plout, Vice President of Research for Purdue. Karen, there she is. I thought I saw Dr. Ken Foster here earlier, Interim Dean of Agriculture. Dr. Bernie Engel, who is an ex officio on the ISA board. Bernie? In the back, all right. And then a couple other folks, Director Don Lamb, Director of Agriculture. There he is. And last but definitely not least, our ag media that's here. We really do appreciate your time and your coverage of this innovation and of these students and your continuing support of getting the word out about the checkoff. So to our ag media partners, thank you so much. So now I'd like to introduce Dr. Nathan Mosier. Nate is head of the Department of Agriculture and Biological Engineering here at Purdue University, and he's also the Indiana Soybean Alliance Endowed Chair. So Dr. Mosier will discuss the history of the competition, some of the projects, the student judging, and about the Aspire program. So Nate.
Courtney, thank you very much. It's my great pleasure to also welcome all of you here to this great event tonight. And I also wish to extend my thanks to the vision of the Indiana Soybean Alliance for this nearly 3-decade partnership with Purdue University that has helped to educate students broadly at Purdue University about the power of soybean. This competition over our nearly three decades of effort has reached students from many different backgrounds that have gone on to make their own giant leaps in their own ways. We have alumni from this program that have been CEOs of companies, that have gone on to start their own companies, been in positions of developing new products in a wide variety of applications that affect all of us in our daily lives. A little bit about this competition that I want to give you a little bit of insight of what brought us here to this day today. This is the culmination of 7 months of effort by these students, and none of this would be possible without the help of our competition manager and director, Mickey Creech, who's here in the back. Thank you, Mickey, for making all this possible. So beginning in a hot Indiana summer, August day at the start of the Purdue academic year, Mickey and her team begins recruitment for the 2022-2023 competition year. Over a course of about 3 to 4 weeks, she reached, I think, an all-time record of this year. Mickey, correct me if I get the number wrong, about 6,500 Purdue students learned about the soybean competition, many of them for the first time, and many of them said, maybe I know what a soybean is, and I probably drove past a soybean field even if I don't know what that quite looked like, but maybe this is interesting. And certainly the enticement of maybe being able to go after a prize of $20,000 for a top idea in a competition encouraged them to join with other students, many of whom they may not have met before coming to one of the call-outs. Free pizza will also encourage that as well, for them to come and learn about how this competition is going to come together. By October 1st, note I haven't said anything about an idea yet. Many of these teams haven't even formed a team yet. They have until October to form their team, identify potential faculty advisors, both for technical aspects of their project as well as marketing aspects of their project. From that time forth, they're working very quickly to develop an idea that they have to determine that it is novel. It's not a product someone has tried before. There's not a patent that somebody's already filed that expresses this idea in a form that would not allow them to move forward with a novel product that might be commercializable. They gain training on how to work safely in the laboratory. Each team gets a soy sample kit that is full of products that are donated by our corporate partners, Beck's Seed for whole soybeans, and ADM and Cargill for soybean products that are produced in the processing facilities here in Indiana and around the Midwest. These teams then work through their idea in consultation with their faculty advisors, work on prototypes, develop a marketing plan, confirm that there's no intellectual property or patents that would prevent them from operating, and then, in the end, actually make the product, prove that it works, write a report, submit to Mickey copies of the report and examples of their product, and then all come before 6 judges, 3 of which are board members of the Indiana Soybean Alliance, 3 are some of our partners from industry that have worked in innovation, and I'd like to thank all of them. If you were a judge for the competition, would you please stand and be recognized? The students certainly recognize the value of the insights and the critiques and the comments they get from these judges. I tell all of them that if they were working as entrepreneurs, not as students at Purdue University, they probably couldn't afford the consultation fees for some of the advice that they're receiving. The students present their ideas in front of these judges. orally and with a written report. The judges have conferred, and tonight we all get to learn what the outcome is. What are the top 3 prizes? And all of you in the audience have helped determine what the People's Choice Award is that we'll hear about in a few moments. So that's a little bit of a story. It's amazing to me always that these students start 7 months ago with not even an inkling of an idea, maybe not even a team formed, and in such a short time have a working prototype that is so beautifully packaged, and you've seen examples as you walked around today, and present this idea as a novel way of using soybeans and increasing demand for Hoosier-grown soybeans around the world. So thank you all very much for allowing me to give you a little bit of insight into what went into the competition. And it's my pleasure to introduce Ben Forsyth from the Indiana Soybean Alliance to tell us a little bit more about what comes next.
Thank you, Dr. Mosier, not only for the introduction, but your expertise in this event, and honestly, just the partnership of you and your department for our organization. It's a great model for a good relationship between Indiana Soybean Alliance and Purdue. My name is Ben Forsyth. I'm the Director of Sustainability and Value Creation for Indiana Soybean Alliance. This is my first year at one of these events, and I've been so impressed by the students, the projects, the approach, and I cannot state enough that how fortunate I feel to be part of this organization and part of this group, and excited to see, what you all think, how the event went, and then also to get a chance to announce the winners later today. So for me, I just want to say thank you to a few folks. I know that a few have been mentioned already, but a few I want to call out individually and particularly. The judges, again, I really appreciate the time. That was a day last Tuesday where we all came together, to get a schedule for that amount of people at one day and give a whole day or so their time and expertise. We really appreciate that, and those judges were acknowledged here a second ago. The students, again, really appreciate the fact that you all have very busy schedules, a lot going on, and the idea that you would take time and the initiative to go after a project like this for the amount of time that you have is really impressive, and I appreciate that. And as an organization and as an industry, we appreciate that investment. Mickey, again, I want to mention again, from an organization to work with you, it was really impressive to come in and see what things were done and what you'd taken care of. And for us as a partnering organization, it was just a dream partnership there. I'd also have to add that I appreciate and want to thank Madeline Lilly. If it were up to me, this event, we would be in a parking lot eating pizzas. But the fact you all have tables and good food and it's all gotten to where it is thanks to Madeline. So I'm not sure where she's off to. I'm sure doing something important. But if you see her, tell her thanks for this evening as well. So with that, I think it's time. Make sure I check my list before I got everybody. Oh, Agronovis, I apologize. Mitch Frazier, I appreciate you being here, but not only you. We came to Mitch and his staff in the fall of last year and said, we have this event that happens once a year. We'd love to see how to do this with some other groups. Partnerships is really the core of what brings us and what makes us special as an organization as a state. And Mitch, I appreciate the fact that you took a leap of faith here and went with us, and excited to see the turnout today. I think that's a testament to all of our organizations. So thank you and your staff for helping us make today what it is. With that, let's get to why we're here and the teams. So we're going to have a quick video introduction, and then the teams will walk across the stage and get to know who's here.
We are Team SoyFlect.
So we created a soy-based water repellent, and this is super beneficial because the current water repellents that are on the market have been linked to health and environmental concerns, and our product is all natural and completely safe for human use.
Through this competition, we've really got to learn a lot about the things that we don't learn in our everyday classes. So we're learning about engineering and entrepreneurship and all of these other things that really round out our education, which are going to be really helpful in the future.
We are Agent Sticky Soy Adhesive. We created a soybean-based glue stick for consumer applications, and our soybean-based glue stick is stickier and dries faster than other glue sticks.
I learned personally that soy contains a lot of proteins, which is the main reason why it's able to be sticky. I guess really that's the main thing I learned from soybeans.
We just wanted to create like a natural product based off an everyday use thing. Which a glue stick is a fairly commonly used item that could be improved upon.
So we are Team Super Soy. So we created a food water oxygen barrier. Essentially what that means is every fruit, vegetable, and most candies have a microscopic layer around them that protects it from spoiling sooner. It increases shelf life, and it gives a kind of glossy look to it. It's like apples. That's what we made. We made a soy-based version of that.
Just by participating in this competition, it shows that you have dedication, drive, and you're able to put in the work to achieve what you want. So it definitely looks good for future careers.
So petroleum-based plastic is used in a lot of packaging right now, and we were thinking of creating a plastic food container that is actually made from soy bioplastic.
This will create so much value for so many people because it impacts so many people. So many people use these products every day. How many times a day do you store something in a food container or take out Uber Eats and they have plastic containers that they give you? Like, this is the core value of our product, is we really want to impact as many people as possible.
We're Team Soyscara.
So a large amount of cosmetic products in the market use these PFAS chemicals, which have been known to cause cancers and also disrupt a whole lot of bodily functions. We decided to create a soy-based mascara that doesn't use PFAS while still fulfilling all the roles of a traditional mascara.
When we were searching for different ideas in the very beginning, there was literally soy in so many different things. It was unbelievable.
After this soybean competition, I've been looking more into research. It's something that I found a lot more interesting.
We're Soylace.
We created reusable dryer sheets, and this solves the waste problem, and that is associated with bounce sheets, typical dryer sheets, and we also have a liquid fabric softener to go with that.
We were working on a product that was beneficial not only to us and that we can find value in, but something that people can continually use and other markets can grow from.
It's really important to show that you can be independent and create your own product and really show initiative and getting to the end goal. A lot of teams dropped out, and it's a really hard competition, but I think it shows a lot of perseverance that we're still here.
So our team is SoySafe.
We created a replacement for existing drywall that utilizes soybeans to obtain a much higher fire rating and greater sound resistance.
We learned about soy in a way that it can be used in every aspect. We use things that would normally be waste products. So soy meal, something that isn't always able to be used in food grade products or otherwise soy products. We looked at the properties of that and learned about how we can apply it to new uses.
A lot of other teams utilize only the oil or like a wax from the soy, but we decided to do something new and use fire resistance and flour from the soy.
So our team name is SoyWax. So we created a soy-based boat wax, and the problem that it solved was a lot of boat waxes have warning labels on the bottles, and our product does not have any warning labels, so it's not harmful to humans, marine life, the environment, and it's also environmentally safe.
So our product is 97% soy-based. It has high oleic soybean oil, and then it also has 2 nature waxes that are soy waxes, and then we have carnauba wax as well in our product.
Hi,
Hi, we are Team Soy Sealers. We created a soy bottle cap that is intended to replace the plastic bottle caps that you use in everyday life, like on Coca-Cola products and products like that.
This is important because a lot of times these bottle caps end up on beaches or in oceans, which can really harm animals.
It's good to just persevere and keep going, and kind of the more you experiment with your product, the better it turns out. So we had many different prototypes in the beginning, but once we finally decided on the perfect mixture where our bottle cap didn't break, it wasn't too thin, and in the end, we ended up making a really good product that works as we intended.
We created a tinted moisturizer with an SPF component. We wanted to create this because skin cancer is the leading type of cancer diagnosed in the US, with about 9,500 people per day being diagnosed with it.
During this competition, I was able to solve a real life problem with a real life solution. And I think it's really cool to have something to actually show for that at the end of the day. It gave me a chance to get my hands dirty, to actually develop a tangible prototype. Our team name is Pure Soy.
We created a Pure Soy facial cleanser. It helps with the purifications, and it helps to clean the face generally and moisturize it, nourish it with all of the vitamins and minerals.
We learned mostly that there's lots of things you could do with soy. I didn't really know that you could do that much with it. I think it was a good learning experience. We used 10 different kinds of soy variations, so I think that was really cool to learn.
Our team name is Styrosoy. We created a soybean-based replacement for styrofoam. Polystyrene is very toxic and does not decompose. And every green-based replacement actually is not very green. They still use a lot of toxic chemicals. Our product is actually non-toxic, completely. It is compostable, biodegradable, good for the earth.
A lot of experiments in the lab, and also for me it was great to be in a multicultural environment and also in an interdisciplinary group in which every single person basically support each other and provides wonderful ideas to create this product.
Now I'd like to introduce Mitch Frazier, who I just said thank you to a second ago, to be our keynote speaker for today. As I mentioned, we came to Agrinovus a little while ago and with the idea of making this a bit of a partnership. And so Mitch is the CEO of Agrinovus Indiana. It's a nonprofit organization focused on growing Indiana's agribioscience economy. And I think he has some good news to share with us this evening, so excited to hear a little bit more about that. And also I'd mentioned, Mitch, that now we have a bunch of students here that you're standing between them and learning who wins.
It's a fact.
Keep that in mind.
This is a fact. Ben, thanks so much, and thanks to everybody for the partnership to be here tonight. We are here to talk about innovation. Everyone came tonight to explore what innovation bright young minds can bring. How about another round of applause for these incredible students? Incredible. Blown away. Last week I had a chance, as Ben mentioned, to join the team to judge these and to see the poise, to see the innovation, to see the spirit. It just lifts you, right? You look at the future and go, the future is going to be okay with these students representing our future. Well, tonight we are here to talk about innovation, and my goal tonight is to share with you three big trends. Three big trends that I believe, that we believe, will shape the future of the ag bioscience economy. And we talk ag bioscience in Indiana, we talk about it in 5 key ways. This is defined in research. We think about it in terms of value-added food nutrition. This is really anything post-farm gate to the dinner table where value is added. So this could be ingredient manufacturing. It could be food manufacturing. We think about it in terms of animal health and nutrition. Think about this as anything from vaccine to feed. And how do we care for that animal as it grows? We think about it in terms of crop protection and plant science. How do we optimize that seed, and how do we care for that seed as it grows? We think about it in ag tech, the intersection of hardware and software. And obviously, we think about this in terms of production agriculture, the cornerstone of Indiana's ag bioscience economy. Now, as we began this effort within Agronovus to say, how best can we shape the future, working with Courtney, the team at Indiana Corn Marketing Council, Indiana Soybean Alliance, how can we shape the future? And together we came up with what we call Grow 2024. This is our bold ambition to grow Indiana's ag bioscience economy at the time by $4 billion by 2024. It was a bold ambition. And if you look back to where we started this from, this was at the height of the pandemic in 2020. And if we look back to what's happened since 2020, this, in Indianapolis, we saw Elanco just a year, 2 years after their IPO, announced that they acquired Bayer Animal Health, making them the second largest animal health company in the world. It would solidify their headquarters in Indianapolis. Incredible move for a global, publicly traded company to be headquartered in our state. Secondarily, we saw Corteva, just after their IPO, make big moves. Well, just last year, Corteva announced that they would make Indianapolis their global headquarters. And many in here know the Corteva brand, but many across Indiana, many across the Midwest don't know Corteva is the largest pure-play ag company in the world. And in fact, in Indiana, they're the fourth largest publicly held company headquartered here. Eli Lilly is number 1. Elevance Health, used to be Anthem, is number 2. Simon Property Group is number 3. And friends, our folks at Corteva are number 3. They are number 4. They are the number 4, the fourth largest publicly held company in Indiana. And when you look at these stalwarts, the ability to grow Indiana's ag bioscience economy with incredible cornerstones like Elanco and Corteva, well, it's incredible. But also, if you look back to what happened, think back over the last 3 years. Well, we can't talk about growing this economy. We can't even talk about trends shaping this economy without talking about, well, what we all experienced in 2020. The height of the global pandemic for me, and my 43 years on the planet, was the first time I walked into a grocery store and didn't see food on shelves. It disrupted all of our lives. It disrupted our economy. And so as we look to say, how best do we grow this economy, working with 30-plus companies, 30-plus organizations all around the state, all part of the Agronovus team, well, we thought our Grow 2024 ambition would be tough, because that Grow 2024 ambition is really built upon us going out, connecting with you, understanding what gaps you see in your product life cycles, in your product portfolio, areas you're interested in, and then we go across the country and around the world to find products and companies that meet that intent. Well, I'm delighted to share with you, that Indiana's ag bioscience economy didn't grow by $4 billion from our last measure. Indiana's ag bioscience economy grew by $6 billion from 2018 to 2021. This is the fastest rate of growth we've ever seen since we began measuring Indiana's ag bioscience economy, and there are so many stories behind this. I think the most powerful story is, well, it's you. The reason this economy grows is because people in the economy, people driving the economy, from students to academics, focused on research, commercializing that research. It's great young companies coming here. It's companies like Elanco and Beck's and giants that we see all across our state investing and growing here. For the students in the room, you'll be happy to hear this. Indiana's ag bioscience economy not only grew by $6 billion during this period, it added 147,000 jobs. To put that into context, when you look at the impact of those 147,000 jobs, you look at secondary and tertiary impact, direct, indirect. Friends, what we find is Indiana's ag bioscience economy employs roughly 340,000 jobs here in the state. That's about 10%. About 10% of our overall workforce in the entire state. You see, Indiana's ag bioscience economy is critical, and because we're talking with leaders like you, because we're out talking with venture capitalists, because we're out talking with companies all across the country and around the world, it gives us a unique perspective on the big trends that we think are shaping the future of this economy. Creates opportunity for students, creates opportunities for research, but also creates massive opportunity for Indiana's economy. And so tonight I want to share with you 3 key trends that we believe are shaping the future of Indiana's ag bioscience economy. And first is biofuels will reemerge as part of the discussion around energy transition. As you think about the energy transition, today this is really a carbon-based fuel to electricity. That's typically what we talk about when we talk about the energy transition. But biofuels, bio-based fuels have an amazing role in the future of the energy transition. And we don't have to look far to find validation for this. Corteva. So this is about 2 weeks ago. This is Chuck Magro. He's the CEO of Corteva. Chuck was out in San Francisco along with a number of us, and Chuck made a big proclamation. In fact, he made a big announcement. Chuck announced that they had just inked a partnership with Chevron and Bunge to create a new low-carbon fuel built on plant science. Last year, when Chuck, he was the new CEO of Corteva then, not new now, in his first ever Investor Day, he's sharing these frontier markets, the markets that he believes will shape the future of not only his company, but of the market. Well, of those 3, bio-based fuels was one. And he shared a stat that I think is powerful. He talks about bio-based fuels, and we're talking specifically around sustainable diesel, sustainable aviation fuel. What Chuck shared is that bio-based fuels will grow tenfold to 17 billion gallons by 2035. Creating massive opportunity for demand, massive opportunity for innovation, massive opportunity for us to be a part of the energy transition. And Corteva is not alone. Earlier this year, John Deere at CES, and if those of you that know CES, this is typically where all the cool gadgets get announced. New electric cars, new phones, new computers, new TVs. This is the place where innovation, especially consumer innovation, is unveiled. So we have Jamie Hyneman on stage, opening day of CES. I mean, if that doesn't give you goosebumps alone, come on. Like, the CTO of John Deere is on the stage at CES, like before they unveil the new Tesla or whatever they were unveiling that day. Amazing. And what Jamie shares is, he said, look, I know this is the place where you're going to see a lot of new electric cars. You're going to see a lot of new gadgets, specific around electrification. But it's just not there yet for agriculture. And he has a big 8R tractor behind him. You can kind of see a piece of this. They're working on tillage. And Jamie shared that if we were to electrify this tractor behind me, it'd take 38 Tesla Model 3 batteries. That tractor would weigh twice as much, be twice as large, and cost 4 times as much. Now, the real kicker is the carbon intensity of that tractor being electrified would have the same impact as if that tractor were running on sustainable diesel. Ag bioscience, ag has a big role to play in the energy transition, and we are just getting started. This trend will affect the future. The second trend we're seeing is one that I think everyone here feels and faces on a daily basis. It's labor. The reality of labor being a challenge will not only fuel innovation, it will force innovation. If you look at the robot that's here on screen, this robot is, well, it's from a company called Plenty. California-based company. They've raised about $1 billion in venture capital. Walmart is an investor. Schmidt from Google is an investor. Bezos is an investor. And they didn't start out to create a cool lettuce-picking robot. They started out because there's a labor problem. There simply isn't enough people to pick the lettuce, to get produce to market. They found an opportunity. I think the challenges in this trend is everyone here faces labor challenges. What's our collective opportunity? What are those things that can be automated? What are those things like lettuce picking that we could fuel? You see, we often talk about the challenge of it's tough to find people and it's really hard and it's really difficult. But it's 2 sides of the same coin. Challenge and opportunity. That little flat spot between it's called innovation. We have the opportunity to do it. I mean, look at these bright young people. The things that you saw out there, it's amazing what they came up with. We can solve this problem. Now, I want to add some data to this because this isn't just, gosh, it's really tough to hire people. Take a look at this. This is workforce participation rate. This is from the St. Louis Fed. Really hard to see the numbers. The x-axis along the bottom, well, that's the last 10 years. The y-axis is workforce participation rate. That gray bar, that vertical gray bar, that's the global pandemic. So as you look at this data, I think it's really clear that yes, it is tough to find people because we have less people in the workforce. And we've seen big moves. John Deere made a move in 2021, bought a company called Bear Flag Robotics. This was a company that took an 8R tractor, they made it fully autonomous for produce production, where you're running tillage 18, 24 times over the same land before you plant. And John Deere wasn't alone. Case New Holland made a big move in 2021 as well. They bought a company called Raven. And at the time, this is one of the Case New Holland execs on Mad Money with Jim Cramer. And at the time, when I saw this, and I think many here who have spent time in the cab of a tractor, Raven, you think of as technology. But when you dig into this, when you really start pouring into what was behind this acquisition, autonomy becomes the driver of why Case bought Raven. Innovation, solving problems. Labor was a problem. They went to find innovation. And if we add one more data point to this, just to be really clear of the opportunity for innovation here, this is the unemployment rate. Same period of time, x-axis, last 10 years, y-axis unemployment rate. You can see us bouncing along from 7 all the way down to below 5 before the pandemic. Pandemic hits, that's that vertical bar, and today we have unemployment in the 3s. I've been around long enough to know that full employment, again, not an economist, but full employment's roughly 5% unemployment. So we have less people in the workforce. We have an unemployment rate that shows that we have full employment, and we all have labor challenges. Massive opportunity. Labor will be one of the key trends that drives the future of the ag bioscience economy. The last big trend that we're seeing is ag tech. Ag tech consolidation will accelerate in the future. And we think about ag tech, I think it's so easy for us all to think about the cool gadget or gizmo, whether it be a soil sensor or whether it be software. There's all kinds of ag tech. But think broadly about ag tech and some of the acquisitions. We've talked about Bear Flag and John Deere, Raven and Case New Holland, but we don't have to go far again. Corteva made a big move last year, actually 2 big moves in the biological space. Bought a Texas-based Stoller. This is a very logical acquisition. Biologicals are estimated to be 25% of the crop protection market by 2030, 2035. This is a very logical acquisition. This is the kind of acquisition that we would see, right? Stoller gets access to Corteva's global workforce. It's a very logical acquisition. These kinds of acquisitions, I think, will continue in the broader ag tech space. But there are some fascinating things that are happening here, friends. Take a look at this. This is a company out of Austria, a company called Kreisel. Kreesel's a battery company, and John Deere announced last year that they were buying Kreisel. And I'll tell you, I was one of the first ones to say, what in the world? I mean, a battery company? Of all the things you could buy, it's a battery company? Well, what made Kreisel special? Kreisel really focused on austere environment battery production, so battery usage for austere environments. Well, on that same main stage that I showed where Jamie Hyneman, the CTO of John Deere, was on the stage at CES, well, his team, that same show, announced a new all-electric excavator powered by Kreisel technology. And the thought there was, the reason why they made that move, he said, listen, when we are in urban environments, noise is a big factor. Being able to get a couple more hours of the day, having a quiet operation makes a lot of sense. But he was really clear in his comments that it's not electric alone. It's a portfolio approach. And I think as we look at all of these, we're going to see all of these trends really affect a broad spectrum. But I want to put a finer point on why I think now ag tech consolidation will continue, and I think this is one that I think we've all experienced. Monetary policy. So if you look at what has happened as we've seen global inflation rise, we did see it come back down, fourth quarter of last year, that's good. We're still continuing to trend down, but it's good to see the slope point downward, but let's be clear, the target rate is 2% and we're in the 6s. We have a long way to go. So what's happened is the Fed has continued to increase interest rates, creating a risk-free return of 5-ish% for money on hand. And so as we look at how ag tech gets funded, it's typically venture capital, in large part. And as we think about the inflows into venture, it's people looking for return. And so my belief is, what I think we're going to see is, I think we could see venture inflows slow. Wealthy individuals seeking investments, they'll diversify their portfolio. They'll go risk-free return on some of it. They'll capture some of that 5% risk-free return. They'll still put some into venture, but venture won't be as easy to access as it once was. So what happens then is you have these companies who have created a prototype. They've gotten to market. They have some early success and they need to scale. Well, venture typically fills that role. But if they can't access the capital, what happens? Well, I think we're going to see some of those big strategic companies who have cash on the balance sheet who have been able to benefit from the 5-6% risk-free return. Well, I think they're going to be able to deploy capital. I think what we're going to see is ag tech consolidation will continue and will accelerate based on what we're seeing in monetary policy. So these three big trends again. Biofuels will reemerge. Biofuels will reemerge as part of the discussion around energy transition. We will absolutely see labor continuing to be a challenge, and the opportunity is for everyone in this room to identify what can we automate. What part of the labor challenge can we all solve? And lastly, I do think ag tech consolidation, well, I think it'll continue and accelerate. Now, there's one key universal truth if you look at all three of these trends. There's one universal truth in all of our operations, and it's people. And so I would encourage you today, if you haven't, we created this solution in partnership with Indiana Soybean Alliance, Indiana Corn Marketing Council, many others who have come alongside us and said, let's bring more people into this world. If we're going to think about innovation, look at the incredible innovation we've seen tonight. We have to bring more people into this environment, more people into this economy who look at things different, who think differently. And it takes a bunch of different kinds of people. It takes software engineers, it takes chemists, it takes biologists, it takes marketing majors and finance majors. We created Field Atlas to be a digital career exploration platform for your sons, daughters, cousins, nieces, nephews, fellow students, your students. If you haven't yet visited Field Atlas, go ahead and scan the code. Please share this. The onus is on all of us. If we think about that labor challenge, if you felt the labor challenge, this is a key piece. We have to inspire and energize and engage students to be a part of this economy. This is the only economy, friends. This is the only economy that touches every person on this planet. If you're a marketing major, you're a finance major, you're a data scientist, you can do some amazing work. But there's only one place. There's only one piece of the economy where you can come and you can make a durable difference and you can actually be a part of feeding people. And that's the ag bioscience economy. Last thing I want to hit is, if you enjoy thinking about innovation, talking about innovation, are inspired by innovation, join us. Every Monday morning we issue a podcast. It's about 20 minutes of your time. You can scan the code. It'll go right to your podcast app, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcast. But we've had a ton of different folks, from USDA to venture capital to really progressive producers to past winners of the soybean challenge. This is a place, I would just encourage you, it is good for the soul to hear what is happening. Innovations are progressing, and this is something that we would love to share with you. If you have ideas, you have thoughts, you want to be a part of this, you want to be a part of innovation, that is my cell number, and that is my email address. And I just ask, I'm a simple call, simple text away. I guarantee you I don't have the answers, but I am confident as we look at those three trends, we look at the future of the ag bioscience economy, it's this room. It's us. We're the ones who can shape it. And I think we can do it together. Let's work together. Let's make it happen. It is now my delight, as all of you anxiously await who the winner is, to introduce Mike and Denise from the Indiana Soybean Alliance to come up and to share with us who are the winners of the 2023 challenge.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Mitch, for that wonderful talk. And I don't know about you guys, but it sure is exciting to talk about agriculture and all the interesting things happening within Indiana ourselves. We've had some really great speakers up here tonight, but I think Mike and I have the best part of the night, actually getting to say who the winners are and giving them the big checks. So first up, we have the People's Choice Award, which you all got to vote on tonight. So thank you for going around and meeting the individuals and the teams together. And the winning team receives $500. Madeline, when Ben was trying to look for her earlier, I think was in the back counting all of these because she gave me the winner. And the People's Choice winner this year is Team Styro Soy. Congratulations to Team Styro Soy, the creators of Styrofoam. The team members include Alyssa Choi, Luis Martinez, Valeria Telez, and Amy Tang. Let's give them another round of applause. Next, I'm excited to announce the competition's first, second, and third place winners. I know the teams are excited to find out who won, so let's get right to it. Taking third place this evening and receiving $5,000 is Team Soy Scara, the creators of soy-based mascara. The team members include Allison Dunbar, Jason Lee, and Conway Zhang. Taking second place in the competition and receiving $10,000 is Team Soy Safe, the creators of Fireproof Drywall. The team members include Sarah Juffer, Charlie Seabright, and Josh Stevenson. And finally, the team that is taking first place and taking home $20,000 is Team Styro Soy, the creators of the styrofoam replacement. So obviously, you guys did a good job for People's Choice tonight. Congratulations. And again, the winners of this team are Alyssa Choi, Luis Martinez, Valeria Telez, and Amy Tang. I don't know about you guys, but when I was in college, I definitely didn't have the ability to do what these students do today, and I commend the students and all the advisors that work with them. And let's give all these students, advisors, and everyone a big round of applause. And we're going to have Mitch come up to learn a little bit more from the winners.
It's good. Come on up, winners. Yeah, bring your checks. Come on, bring your checks. They're good for the photos, good memories. Okay, team, so I think we can probably use this mic for y'all. Who wants to hold it first? Who wants to start? Oh, wow, you just got elected. Okay, so I had a chance to get to know y'all last week. See your pitch is amazing. This is not your first time with the Soybean Alliance, the challenge. Talk more about this being, your refinement of what you actually brought to market this time.
This is actually our first time.
Is it?
Yes.
You all got to know each other through this challenge.
Yes.
And how did you come to this?
So actually, it was Luis's idea. He was moving from labs. He changed from Polytechnic to a new building, and he saw himself filled with packing peanuts. And that's really a problem because it will last for 500 years. So he talked to the team, and we did some research, and it's really something that we wanted to overcome, and we created a foam that is compostable, and that will solve that problem of plastics, of styrofoam, and microplastics.
And so as you look to the future, you learned a lot working together. I'm certain you all have different backgrounds. Maybe share a little bit about how working across disciplines was helpful in creating this new product. That's what happens when you're in. You just get handed down to it.
Okay, we're going to start with introducing ourselves. My name is Alyssa Choi. I'm a sophomore in biological engineering.
I'm Amy Tang. I'm a sophomore in biological engineering and pharmaceutical sciences, and I'm an international student from Brazil.
I'm fourth-year PhD student in the Industrial and Physical Pharmacy department.
And I'm Luis Cáceres, a four-year PhD student working here at Purdue Polytechnic.
So I would say we came from different backgrounds and also from different countries. So that really gave us a perspective from the environmental perspective, for example. We also have engineers in the team, which was a key step for the drying process of our foam. So it's really an integration of all majors and of different backgrounds for everyone, really. I don't know if you want to add something.
And then having unexperienced undergrads and working with grads actually made us undergrads realize that working in lab doing research is actually really fun, and it actually gave me an idea of what I want to do in the future. So for a little bit of context, we never worked in the lab outside of our classwork. So it was a very different experience that I really enjoyed, and I would do it again.
Okay, so the last question. So this was a new experience for all of you. Help us understand, as you think about the future, is working with soybeans, being in ag bioscience, is this what you want to do following this experience?
I think that is the way to go. So we have the potential in bio in order to create new things, in order to face those big problems associated with plastics or fossil fuels. So I think there is a huge opportunity in terms of marketing and ideas in order to do a big transformation in our world and basically live in a safest environment as possible. Yeah.
Other thoughts? Okay, well, how about a round of applause again for the winning team? Incredible work.
Get one more recognition for this great team. So please feel free to stick around afterwards, get to know the students, talk to the students some more, and please get to know them. I mean, these are such great projects. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you've really enjoyed this glimpse into the minds that will shape the world of agriculture and really the world for years to come. I know personally I'm thinking, gosh, agriculture's got a bright, bright future with these kinds of minds starting to work into it. I really do want to congratulate all the students who participated this year. Your hard work was evident in every part of your project, from the project itself to the business plan you developed, the packaging, the logos that when you look across there, great job to everybody on that. In addition, again, Dr. Nate Mosier and the others, really thank you for that. Mickey, thank you again for that. ISA's work in the new uses arena really encourages students to see the full potential of soybeans, and it's really at the core of why the farmer leaders of ISA continue to fund this project and continue to invest in the future of agriculture and in this competition here at Purdue. The 20,000 Indiana soybean farmers recognize the value of innovation. Planting the seeds now for future growth is what Indiana farmers do every year. Supporting students to utilize the full potential of soybeans, creating new products from soybeans, opening new markets for soybeans are just a few of the reasons why this 20,000 farmers and the board of directors for ISA continues to support not only this project at Purdue, but all of the partnerships that we have across Purdue. It has been such an exciting evening to learn and see these new products, celebrate the winners, come up, meet the teams, congratulate them. Thank you all to you for joining us tonight. Have a safe evening, have a great evening, and we'll see you next year.